Now we ready.
You know what time it is. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Dum Yinzers. This is everybody, episode 262. Good morning, Michael. What's going on with you, bro?
Oh man, I'm living the dream today, big Ryan. Living the dream.
Yeah, he said it's gonna be a good show. He said it's gonna be a big one. I'm still trying to decipher what that means. I don't know if that just means that you brought extra snacks for the show. I just my goal today. What's up, Dirt? My goal today, guys, is to watch Mike. I'm going to watch Mike the whole show, and I'm going to monitor how much you actually eat during the show, Mike.
Oh, I'm not eating. I ate before the show.
You ate before the show?
I.
And I am having some. If you see the title of today's episode, you'll know what is up.
All right. I just told Mike. Good morning, Derpy. Welcome. I just told Mike I'm gonna be watching him all the show. I'm just gonna watch Mike, and I'm only gonna have him on my main monitor, and he's already putting something to his mouth. It looks like a drink, and I'm gonna do play by play every time he eats. We'll chime in, because I have to keep track of what he eats on the show.
I'm not. I ate before the show.
There's 24 hours in a day. I'm just trying to figure out if he eats all day or he just uses this as his lunchtime. Is what I'm.
This is my lunch. Normally, it is my lunchtime. Actually, yeah, it is. I've been up since 1 a.m.
Which I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, you're over here fat shaming the fact
that
he wants to eat because he's hungry.
But in the same sense, though, I do.
How dare you, fat shame?
But in the same sense, I do with the Derby as well.
Right here for this sex machine.
And if he was visible, I would be monitoring him as well. But this is.
I'm watching you.
I'm just wondering.
I'm
just wondering if we're going to continue to do a sports show or it's going to eventually be a food show. I think we might be more beneficial talking about the food that you eat all day. Good morning, everybody. Again, 262.
We have the same diet, dude.
We got a lot of big things going on today, guys. Of course, if you missed it yesterday, there was a big basketball game we're going to talk about today. Mike, there's a big hockey game going on tonight. If you like superheroes, I think you're going to really enjoy this hockey game. Of course, names flying and rumors flying around the NFL. Couple of things before we do get started. Of course, I don't know. Did you guys hear about Sean Kemp?
No, what did he do? Did he have like another 5 kids?
Well, apparently, okay. Let me paint it, because the first part of it ended up being not true. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The news was Sean Kemp, 6-time All-Star, Seattle Supersonic. He was charged for drive-by shooting yesterday. Drive-by shooting. And the world is going crazy. Sports world. What's Kemp doing? This guy's in his 50s. Well, apparently it comes out today. Sources close to the Supersonics said that he had property stolen from his car yesterday. Okay. I tracked his phone to Tacoma, and when he approached the vehicle, a suspect shot at him, and he fired back in self-defense.
Ooh.
So, I mean, here you have both sides of the stories. One side saying he's involved in a drive-by. This side makes it sound like he's a little less guilty. At the end of the day, I think that we're going to find out eventually what happened entirely. And you hope not. You hope not at this point in his life he's not doing these kind of things. But on the other hand, if he did not do them, you hope that his name does get cleared.
Yeah.
And this isn't what everyone remembers him for, because he was a pretty damn good basketball player for this to be what you're remembered for.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, because I'm reading now like the updated story. It's clarifying a little bit from what happened earlier. And, it's cleaning up that like what you just said. So that's wild, man.
Isn't that something?
That's something. Like,
I just, you don't know what goes on in people's everyday lives, but
yeah,
at some point, people just have to make better decisions. And what do? You have something stolen from your car. And I know most people that I know would track, if they could, track the phone and go there.
Yeah.
And, so, I mean, you can't fault him entirely. What do you do?
I don't blame
him.
Someone shoots at you and you have a gun. You're gonna, that's self-defense at that point. You're gonna fight back.
I had a somebody stole a phone, and we tracked it down one time, and it's probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And the area that we tracked it down to is a bad area, so I contacted the police in that town, and I said, well, he goes, there's nothing we can really do. And I was like, well, it's literally it's dinging right here.
Yeah.
We could go directly to where it's at.
Yeah, we can go get it, my guy.
And he goes, well, there's not really much we can do. I said, well, if you don't want to go, then I'll go and see if I could. He goes, no,
Yeah.
no. He goes, you can't go up there. It's too dangerous. I thought, so what? We're just gonna let this happen. You know, you're what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
When you tell us don't act on our own, you call us. You call the police. We
Yeah.
take care of it. Well, not in this situation. It wasn't the case. We lost the phone because these police officers were afraid to go to this neighborhood. He told me that I wasn't allowed to go to that neighborhood, and you know, total loss on my end. So screw me, right?
So F you, buddy. F
Yeah.
you, buddy.
Also, guys, with the
Oh,
other things going on in this world, the Joe Mixon story also, Mike, was a little bit interesting to me
Mhm.
because the charges last month where he threatened the woman with a gun were dropped.
Yeah.
You recall that. Now, the story yesterday was not related. A minor was shot at his home. The full story not released as far as I know. Minor shot at the home of Joe Mixon. The charge last month in the same home for threatening a woman with a gun was dropped. What's going on at Joe Mixon's house?
I don't know, but it does not sound like a fun place to be.
No, and Joe
You know,
Mixon, he's going to be in the unemployment line if he keeps his shit up because,
Yeah.
you know, at what point is the NFL and all the teams going to be like, yo, dude,
Yeah.
you know?
Got because you know he's already he's the one who was in college who choked a woman. I can't remember if it was
there
the
was
cop or not.
something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he had some issues, but he was ever since it felt like he came in the league, you know, kept his nose out of trouble up until this point, if I'm remembering
Well on his
correctly.
way to a pretty damn good career, right?
Yeah, and it just, you know, this is something like, oh, cool, you know, he's looking like, you know, he turned his life around, you know, learned from
Yeah.
his mistakes, did something really effed up, but, you know, changed for the better. But now it's looking like, okay, now this is happening. You know, we had the charges dropped. Like, what's going on here? It's like, come on, dude, get it together. But I'm hoping like something just happened and it just happened at his house. He wasn't the one
Right.
who did it, like, for his sake. You kind of hope that's what it is, but, you know, just going off track records, it's
He's
not
kinda- he's
looking
kinda
like that
playing
way.
with
But you
fire.
gotta wait and see.
Right.
Come on, dude, you're one of the best running backs in the league on a team that's so
You-
close to winning a Super Bowl. Come on, dude.
You won
Come
the
on.
lottery, basically. You're doing
Yeah.
what you love to do. And you know, and yes, it's a job, but you know, like what we do, we love it. And some people would consider, you know, this a job, but you win the lottery. You're a
Yeah.
running back for a team that's in contention. This team, you know, the sky is the limit at this point. You got a pretty good career going. I mean, you're the guy over there.
Yeah.
You're making lots of money. You know, at what point, guys, do you know, should these people stop playing with guns? And you know, playing with guns isn't the smartest thing to do anyway.
Yeah. Like guns, you know, you keep them, you know, you have it, you don't play with them. You know, that's like one thing, like, oh my God, we always had at my grandparents' house, gun cabinet was always open. You just knew you just don't touch them unless you're going to go
Yeah.
shooting that day. But I just like, come on, Joe, get your shit together.
People are getting
Come
a
on.
little too comfortable with guns, I think.
Yeah.
Guns should be uncomfortable. Like you said, they're put away. You know they're there. You just, you know, if you're, especially if you're a minor, you don't even, you know, and it sucks, man. It sucks because, you know, and it's people everywhere. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not coming down on these athletes. I just love pro sports. So it is something for me to talk about. I don't like the whole situation. I hope that these guys can get it together.
Yeah.
And for the majority of the people, they're not doing these things. So I'm not coming down on people that way. I'm just coming down on the few isolated incidences that are disturbing. Like I said, for both of these guys. I mean, Sean Kemp has a great career right off into the sunset, my man. And as far as Joe Mixon goes, he is in the middle of a great career. So
do you think the NFL takes precaution?
In what sense?
Maybe like fine him or like a couple games.
You know what? I think maybe, just maybe after the second one, depending on how it plays out and what the details are of this one, you think that they might consider doing something just because, I mean, whether he shot somebody, whether it was in his home twice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he should have control of what goes on in his house. I mean, so what we don't play with guns for nothing. And here's the thing, guys, you see this, nothing
I'm not
good
saying take away his career. I mean, just
no,
you got to at least discipline a little bit.
and nothing ever comes good from this, right?
Yeah.
At what point does one of these guys play with a gun and something happens and it's a good thing? I never. I just wish that some people would practice. And then, like I said, it's because I love these guys. I'm fans of these guys. That's why I'm coming down. But it's everywhere, guys. It's the times that we're in.
Interesting times.
Interesting times.
No, what's really interesting.
What's really interesting is Mike has not eaten in the first 11 minutes of this show.
Cheers to that, bro.
What's really interesting, you could still get a Shamrock Shake right now.
Yes. Now that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
This is what I'm all about. I'm all about the Shamrock Shake. I have not had one yet. I need to get one. I need a shake.
These guys love the Shamrock
in
Shake.
my face.
You like the Shamrock Shake, Derpy?
Yes, I actually had one not too long ago.
Really?
And he couldn't send one down. I'm heartbroken.
I'm gonna be honest. My favorite part of this year is spring in like 12 days or 11 days. That's exciting. This was the lowest amount of snow we've had in February in like ever. I think it was. I don't even know the number, but they said this is like.
When's that officially start?
The 20th.
20th. Okay.
20, yeah.
Oh God.
That's
right around the corner.
Also, we spring forward Saturday night. Of course, all of our phones do it on their own, but means you got to leave the breakfast a little early, Mike, that day, and get started on the show.
I'll just start drinking early.
A couple other small things, Mike. Owen Wilson. Anybody see this? Owen Wilson is starring in the new movie.
Yeah, I did see that.
Paint. It's a story about Bob Ross. So Owen Wilson is going to be Bob Ross, crooked nose and all.
I love it.
He is going to
That's
be
great.
I can't wait. I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but
is that in theaters, right?
Or is that
streaming?
Is it in theaters right now, Derpy?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you. I don't know if it's coming to theaters or if it's going to streaming.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I will see it. Of course, we all loved watching him paint those happy little trees.
Those happy little trees, that's the locations where he buried his murder victim.
There's actually one movie I've been wanting. I'm probably considering.
Which is that?
Weekend. The one with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, the basketball movie Champ.
Yeah.
Even though it's cliche, it's
yeah,
just because of the characters that are in the movie.
Yeah, and like every sports show is a cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
At this point.
And also, guys, Mike had just candidly stated that these were all locations that he had buried. If he was a serial killer, we're talking about Bob Ross, of course.
Yes.
I just saw something the other day where they said that all of his pictures are connected. Like if you would take all the pictures that he did in order, and it would be just this one journey through like it goes from one to the next as you're taking this journey through through nature. It was pretty cool as well. I don't know again to what it holds. It's just like the serial killer, probably not, but you know what? It'd be cool if it was the deal.
That would be
not serial killing, but
Yeah, serial killing, but if I had to die by a serial killer and it was Bob Ross, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
I would let Bob Ross serial kill me. One more thing before we move forward. Another one. Offensive lineman from Alabama. High school, Naquan Crowder, of course, where we all know the three NFL Hall of Famers, the only high school in this country where there's three or more Hall of Famers out of one particular high school, Ty Law, Darrell Rivas, and Mike Ditka. Another player from their school is going to the Big 33 game. We, of course, mentioned a couple players last week. This week, Naquan Crowder, Mike Derby is going to the Big 33 game. Aliquippa just don't quit. They just don't quit, guys.
They don't. They do not quit. The amount of talent that comes out of there is just crazy.
These are just the guys that you hear about. These are the guys that you know from the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's guys constantly in and out of the NFL. Unbelievable talent. And it's a small school, single A school. The state literally makes them play up to 5A, and they're 1A. There's teams that the guys just keep coming in and replacing each other and replacing. And meanwhile, Aliquippa is still out there with the same 11 guys. What they do is amazing. I think that it's as far as public schools, Mike, it's got to be the most impressive that I've ever heard of.
Easily. Because like we said, it's the high school with the most Hall of Famers.
Yes.
That's insane. And you have to figure like some of these schools they're just for athletics. Yeah, like the academies where they just come in.
Charters and academies.
And Norman is that one an academy?
Oh no.
Small public school.
Small public school.
Old Milltown.
Okay, see, they do it right then.
Run down. The town is rough.
And they get constantly screwed over by the
Derpy.
State when it comes to sports, man.
They're so good, Derpy.
They make them play higher up.
They're so good. Listen to this, Derpy. There's 6 different classifications in Western Pennsylvania high school football. 1A being the smallest, 2A on its way up. And you could, they are single A. They're 1A, smallest schools, one of the smallest kind of schools. However, this team is forced to play up not 1, not 2, not 3. They're up to 5A. And you want to hear something crazy about it, Derp? They won the state championship in 5A. They won the state championship in 5A. So not only you're playing the Western Pennsylvania teams, now you're playing the Philadelphia teams, who are a lot of charter schools and things like that. And Aliquippa did win the state championship that year. They played up at 5A. Unbelievable what this school and this team is able to do. Mad props, Aliquippa, baby.
They are nuts. I love it.
Let's wheel in, guys. Let's wheel in the cart, if you will, with the VCR and the old TV on top of it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I remember that. That's the best day of
7th
school.
and 8th period in school. Those games started 1, 2 o'clock. Here comes somebody with that cart, damn well. So let's roll in the VCR cart. It's even crazy to say VCR anymore, huh?
It does. I feel old.
Before I go on about the Pittsburgh Panthers, Jim Boheim, Mike, is stepping down after 47 years coaching at Syracuse. Apparently, this guy's such a pain in the ass. They couldn't even take him at Syracuse. Nobody likes Jim Boeheim.
Yeah.
That nose picker, that coach from Syracuse, the basketball coach. They literally gave him no options. They said, dude, you got to retire. They just don't like him. Nobody likes him. But Jim Boeheim, after 47 years coaching the Syracuse Orange and the Syracuse Orange men, is stepping down, Mike. Derpy.
About time. F that guy.
And then there were 8. Pitt yesterday, they beat Georgia Tech 89-81. Georgia Tech hung in there for a while, but at this point in the run, everybody hangs in for one. That's something that I'm learning. Even the teams that are in the bottom, your 13, 14s, teams like this, it's still good games. A lot of these games are good. None of them really are blowouts. Pitt ended up winning over Georgia Tech 89-81.
Like Georgia Tech, real quick. I'm sorry. They had an incredible run to start the second half.
They really did. They played a good game.
Yeah.
They played a good game. I found something else that's kind of discouraging about this team in the last 3.
About North Carolina, though.
What's that?
What I told you yesterday about North Carolina, though.
Oh, you know that North Carolina. We'll get to that one sec. The one thing that's kind of disturbing, kind of disheartening about this Pitt team, guys, is as Mike takes a drink. The one thing that's discouraging over the past 3 games, and I didn't look back any further than that, but they gave up 80 plus points to Notre Dame. They gave up 78 points to Miami. And then yesterday, again, 81 points to Georgia Tech. This be, I think, a problem, Mike. Well, what is that? Is that a pretzel?
Oh, you can't see it. I don't have the light right there.
Can you just tell us what it is?
So it's a
Looks like a cream puff or a
no,
bonbon.
it's a
Are you
bottle
eating a
cap.
cream?
It's
A
bottle
what?
cap. It's a bottle cap.
Oh. So the fact that this team at this point in the season is giving up roughly 80 points a game, that is going to be a problem, especially today. If this happens today against Duke, they're probably not going to win this basketball game. They got to figure out how to grab boards. They got to figure out how to play defense and keep Duke under 80 points for sure.
That's what I was about to say. If they don't win the glass, and if Duke gets hot, it's pretty much lights out, especially on the glass.
They're gonna be raining threes, baby. They're gonna be raining threes. They're gonna come out. They're gonna look like Golden State when in their prime, like Steph Curry and Klay Thomas.
Who Pitt?
Swish, yeah, baby.
I hope you're right, man.
Me too, because like I'm invested in this team and I hate Pitt.
I love it. I like that because you and I.
I'm sorry, you have someone named Federico. How can I not?
How can you not like a Federico?
How can you not like the name? I don't even know who the guy is. You tell me it's Federico. I'm all in.
It is. It's like this team of misfits in a way.
It is like you ever had like there's those athletes. They have that name. You just watch them because that's a cool name.
Yeah,
you can't help it.
The Panthers, they did win. They will be playing today at 2:30 against Duke. Let me start from the bottom, and we'll go from there. Yeah, we're gonna start.
It's like Fuamatu Ma'afala. Okay, how can you not like the guy?
How can you not like Fu? Okay, so we're gonna do this. The game at noon. The game at noon today is Miami gets the number 1 seed, and Miami gets number 9 Wake Forest at noon. And what happened for that to come into fruition was this: Wake Forest played Syracuse in Jim Boeheim's last career game coaching the Orange. Wake Forest wins, Mike. They win this game 77-74. So that advances Wake Forest to play against Miami. I'm sure they're thrilled to death. So they're coming in with a 9 seed, going to be playing the number 1 seed, Miami. And that game's at noon. So as soon as this show is over, waste no time, because we already got a ACC game, like Miami at Wake Forest. Sorry about that. The second game, of course, we won yesterday. We beat Georgia Tech. So at 2:30, the number 5 Pitt Panthers take on the number 4 Duke Blue Devils. And that's at 2:30. 2 big games right off the top.
Bangers, baby, bangers.
The next game was Derpy. North Carolina plays Boston College. This was the only blowout of the day. I guess the next one was kind of a blowout as well, but North Carolina plays Boston College, wins this game 85-61.
Woo.
Now that catapults the Tar Heels into a game against the number 2 Virginia basketball team. So number 2 Virginia versus number 7 North Carolina, and this is at 7 p.m. this evening. And finally, NC State takes on Virginia Tech yesterday. NC State, Virginia Tech, P. Morton's team, NC State, ends out pulling off the win 97-77. And they go on to play Clemson at 8:30. I'm sorry, at 8:30.
Let's go, NC State.
So number 3 Clemson, number 6 NC State, 8:30. That is the late game. So let me just give you the rundown. Noon, you have Miami versus Wake Forest. At 2:30 of Pitt versus Duke. 7 o'clock after the little break, you've got Virginia versus North Carolina. And finally, at 8:30 this evening, you have Clemson, North Carolina State. These are all going to be good games. These are all good teams. So I hope Pitt could slide by. And if Pitt does slide by, they get the winner of Miami against Wake Forest. Derby, let me ask you, do you think in your own, your opinion, is there any way that Wake Forest will upset Miami today?
Yeah, because honestly, I was going to pick Wake Forest.
You like Wake Forest
today? Yes, I do.
What about you, Mike? Is there any possible way, excuse me, that you think that Wake Forest beats Miami today?
There's always that chance, but I don't think so. I think Miami's just they're gonna close this one out, and then that next round, I think that's when we start to see Miami start to get into a little trouble.
Yeah, when they play Pitt.
Yeah.
Or Duke.
They're gonna play Pitt, baby. Oh man, I'm spitting over here. Who are you playing? Pitt?
Yeah, so okay, Mike is taking a sip now.
God, that was a healthy drink.
What are you drinking? Pop, tea, coffee.
There's pop in there, in a maybe an adult beverage or two.
Okay. I like
I'm sorry, I'm feeling good. You day drinking, boys. Day drinking.
All right. Jeez.
I'm pumped up. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And then you're just giving me a rough one, man.
No, I'm just keeping an eye. That's all. I'm just worried about you.
You know what? I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are. It's nice to know that you care.
So let's go down through these. Derpy already says that he's taking West Virginia. Mike's taking Miami.
Wake Forest. You said West Virginia.
I'm sorry.
He has no idea what's going on.
I see the WF and it just for some reason stuck out as a V, a WV to me. So Mike Derpy has Wake Forest winning over Miami. Mike is saying that Miami is going to beat Wake Forest. Let's go to the 2:30 game. Derpy, who do you like? Duke, Pitt? It's a whole different day. Do you have a whole different opinion, or are you sticking with your guns and going with Duke?
I'm a Dookie guy, but
okay.
I'm hoping Pitt wins. I just don't see it though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Duke.
Mike, do you change your tune at all today? Do you change it up at all, or do you still feel a little confident in there somewhere that the Pitt might win this game against Duke?
I'm still gonna ride high with Pitt today.
They have a chance. They always have a chance.
I hate them because I'm a Penn State fan, but I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna ride with Pitt. Federico. How can you root against that name? You can't root against them just because of Federico.
They got to win the glass.
They're just a nice story this year. For a local sports team they weren't supposed to do anything,
right?
And to make it where they've made it so far, I'm rooting for them. I'm pulling for them. If this was Pitt football, on the other hand, I'd be wishing them to lose every game. But they're playing Duke. I hate Duke. I hate everything Duke. So
I do
let's
too.
go Pitt.
I do too. And here's the thing, Mike. You don't know this, but every time you drive from the studio here to your studio, you could possibly pass where the starting point guard was born and raised. Of course,
I drive through that town every day.
Every day you drive
to
through that.
work.
He was the standout point guard at Lincoln Park. If I'm not mistaken, they did win the state championship as well.
It's on this side. It's on this side when I drive.
And that is our point guard, of course, Nelly Cummings, Federico. You got to like Nike Sabandi. Mike, how can you go against a guy that has the name Nike?
Exactly. You can't. Don't bet against Nike. Nike always wins in the end.
Yes.
They got to win second chances on the glass. If they don't do that off of missed shots, they won't win. I can guarantee that.
You know what? And that's what Jeff Capel should be doing today. Really sitting down with these guys and just really game planning and figuring out a way to get their big guys down low, clean up these boards, and especially on offense, get putbacks. You got to be able to score, especially against a team like Duke. There's, they are only the fourth seed. They finished middle of the pack in the conference this year, but again, it's Duke. That's the same thing.
They always have a big man.
You're playing the name.
Yeah.
The next game, the 7:00 game, the after dinner game.
Ooh.
Number 2, Virginia. Number 7, North Carolina. Mike, I'm going to start with you this time. Who do you like? Number 2, Virginia, or number 7, North Carolina?
Ooh. Give me Virginia. I know North Carolina was starting to win some games there at the end, but just give me Virginia.
Derpy, you like North Carolina, correct?
I'm gonna go Tar Heels because they're desperate right now.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, probably.
They weird me out. When I watch North Carolina, it seems like they should just be blowing people away, and they're talented. It's crazy talent, and they just don't blow people away. And I don't know. Maybe.
And I know ESPN, they'll probably find one stupid way to try to get them in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to Tar Heels.
I just can't imagine North Carolina and do. All right, let's move on. I mean, seriously, though.
Come on, it's like the Red Sox and Boston in the Yankees. You got to always have them in there.
And that's the thing; they're going to be a better team than a lot of the teams that are in the tournament. But you're getting these other teams in because of the conference that they're in. Because when ultimately these two teams are better than a lot of them teams. I mean, you got to have these guys. You got to. It's not the college basketball tournament if they're not involved.
Yeah, it's not the same. You have to have it for feel.
And finally, 8:30 game. 8:30 game. Number 3, Clemson. Number 6, NC State. Boy, I wish that we had P on the board today. I'm going to come back to you, Mike, on this one. Number 3, Clemson. Number 6, NC State. Now, I mean, the numbers are pretty close there. We're not with the Virginia 2 and North Carolina 7.
Yeah.
It's getting closer here. So Clemson at 3, North Carolina at 6. Who do you like? North Carolina State, sorry.
I want to say NC State just for P, but I'm going to go with Clemson. I think Clemson's the better team.
Clemson's a really good team. And NC State's a good team. Derpy, who do you like? Number 3, Clemson, or number 6, North Carolina State?
All right, fellas. Let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson's a football school, okay?
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go by history. NC State, Wolfpack.
I like your logic. It's a smart.
There's some good logic. I can't
Absolutely.
argue with it.
No, that's I
hope you're wrong just for my sake, just for my pick. That's all. Not personal. I'm just hoping you're wrong.
Yeah. It's not like, Mike, you're not playing for food or anything, so just relax. No.
Play for drinks, baby. Play for drinks.
Sending over a bowl of like, did you have out on porch for Halloween? I'm just gonna send one of those over to you, wrapped up like a fruit basket.
Can you send over some like Honey Nut Cheerios? I'm kind of craving some Honey Nut Cheerios right now. I'm not gonna lie. This show has gone off the rails worse than yesterday.
I don't know if anything was ever bad as yesterday.
Yesterday was great. I was having
you were in hockey
fun.
Fight form.
I was
you
so
threw
ready
them
to
gloves
fight
off so
hockey.
fast I almost shit myself. Mike, what do you say we talk some Penguins? We got of course the big game tonight against the Islanders, who are just 1 point ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the division, Mike. I think the Islanders, if I'm not mistaken, has 74. The Penguins have 73 points.
Correct. Penguins do have 3 games in hand. So they played 66 games. We played 63. So
okay,
this must-win game, boys.
Now tonight is superhero night. If you like superheroes and you're going down to the arena, it's superhero night. And I don't know what that entails for if you're at the game. However, I know on social media, there's a lot of superhero-y things and graphics going on with their posts. Tonight is superhero night. So if that's your thing, you're going downtown, you're going to enjoy yourself because it is superhero night, Mike. Is that anything that you're into?
The Marvel movies kind of ruined me for superhero stuff. It's all played out and boring. But you come dressed down as Wolverine. Yeah, I got you. I feel you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Dan Potash is going to dress as.
Yes, Dan Potash is always the best entertainment.
He's the best thing to ever happen. Like, I used to hate Dan Potash when I was younger because the dude just stuttered. But yeah. he grows on you. He grows on you
like a fungus.
He does too. But he knows his stuff. He's just a weird guy, and the way the team loves him too. That makes it even better. But I'm really interested to see what Dan Potash is going to dress as, and like hopefully the Penguins are winning in this game. So when he does the interviews in between periods, when he's dressed in character, they can kind of get a little chuckle at him.
And then I like when the guys squirt water on him with the bottle.
Yes,
that's one of my favorite things.
It's like you all have that friend that you pick on.
Yeah.
But if anyone else picks on, it's
ours here at the show is you, Mike. teasing.
Huh. But you better be ready to jump whoever picks on me outside the group. That's all I ask. And I guarantee you that's what the Penguins are. If anyone would mess with Dan Potash, all those Penguins would be out
Mike.
there.
Yeah.
Or, the way they act on ice when they watch Crosby get mauled, maybe not.
Mike, you don't know the seriousness. If somebody would mess with you, my friend, I would go through my pens and I would find the best one, like how I have Throat Punch Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I have Shit Show Saturday. I would find the best one and I would stab them with it. And that's how serious I am.
You know what? That's what I like to hear. I'm glad.
I couldn't do it without the right pen.
You can't do it without the right pen. You have to have the right pen.
Wish a Bitch Would Wednesday.
That's even better if you would use that one.
Thunder Cunt Thursday, one of my personal favorites.
I lost.
You want me to stab your nemesis with a Thunder Cunt Thursday pen?
Yeah, as you should. Everyone needs to be stabbed by the Thunder Cunt Thursday pen.
Derpy, are you into superheroes? I think Derpy's eating again.
I think Derpy
I'm
is eating
here.
again.
Oh,
We lost
Derpy.
Derpy.
Are you into
Yes,
superheroes?
I am. But
What's your
I'm
favorite?
not a Marvel guy. I'm a DC guy.
A DC guy. Now there's I just learned I just found out not too long ago in my life that those are two different things.
Yes,
DC and Marvel.
very
you,
different.
And you prefer DC.
Yes.
Mike, what do you prefer?
Anything that's good. I don't care which is which.
Particularly the movies, huh?
Okay. Early on, it was like the Marvel movies, but I like the later DC movies.
I think that Harley Quinn's hot in the movie. I go with that. Whatever she is, I'm on that team.
So your team DC.
I think.
Yeah,
Am I
your team-
DC? Am my team
Yeah.
DC? Derpy.
Yes, Harley Quinn is DC. Yes.
Okay, that's the team I want to be on.
Yeah, Team Margot Robbie, just all the way. I am
Yes.
Team Margot Robbie.
I want to see the what's the one where the it's got like the thing, all the stuff going on with like the bad guys. What is that? What was that called?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Are those good movies?
The new one or the old one? Because
I
I,
don't
saw.
They were both good.
Is it
Okay.
2021 or 2016?
2021 is that's the better of
That's
the
the
two.
better one, and
That's
I
the
prefer
one to
that
see?
over the old one. That
That's
the new
one you
one
want to
is
see.
probably the one you want to see.
That's the one I want to see.
It's
Yeah.
technically that's directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians,
Yes, that one was
and
really
is
good.
now in charge of DC. Basically, Kevin Feige for
Yes.
Marvel,
Okay.
and he just announced their universe. I don't know if you've seen that. If not, it's okay. You'll see it at some point, but
Hey,
the
I'm
point
gonna-
is,
We'll see it.
he's a guy. He's a guy that's gonna do it right.
Yeah, he's gonna
Okay.
map it all out right and everything. Yeah, I saw some of that stuff. I'm looking. I can't wait to see what happens because there's some good characters in that universe. Their villains are so much better than Marvel villains.
Mike, you know that I have issues with keeping my attention span on one thing for a period of time. So I
Yes.
generally don't watch a lot of movies. However, guys, I did start, and I'm not going to talk about it today because I have to watch it in its entirety. I did start the Chris Rock stand-up, the new one over on Netflix.
Yes.
It is amazing. It is freaking hilarious. I encourage you guys to check it out. We'll talk about it on the air. I got about a third of the way through it, and I ended up crashing out on the couch. It was the end of the day. But I do plan to get back on here real soon and finish it up, guys. Really, really funny. Really, really, really
Oh yeah,
funny.
I'll be watching that this weekend, definitely for sure.
All right. A couple of things else about the Penguins, Mike. They play the Flyers on Saturday. So once we get this game out of the way, let's say we beat the Islanders. Saturday is the next game, and that's the Philadelphia Flyers. Where's Philadelphia at, Mike? Where do they lay in the
They are.
in the division?
Ooh. Ooh,
They lay with the Cleveland Browns. As the worst
I knew they were
organization
bad this
ever.
year. I knew they were bad. I forgot they were this bad.
They're pretty bad, huh?
Yeah, they have 59 points.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's the Blue Jackets, the Canadiens, and then the Flyers for your bottom three over in the East. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're up there as one of
They
the
want the
worst
pick.
teams.
That's why, though.
Yeah,
they want that.
Yeah,
They
they're
want
in
up
the
there.
lottery right now. They're looking at 1, 2, 3. They're like the 7th, 8th pick overall. They have right now. They have another top 10 pick again. This franchise, man, I love it when the Flyers suck.
The reason I bring that up is because, of course, we all have our favorite GM in town, Ron Hextall. And I'm not even going to talk about Hextall. However, I am going to talk about something else that kind of I didn't realize, because apparently this has only been happening at home games since they started calling for Hextall's head. Is anybody aware of the Pittsburgh Penguins now, excuse me, have Iceberg blow a horn every time the crowd boos or when they start calling for Hextall's head?
No way.
They apparently, Josh
Wait, what?
Yohe, yes, Josh Yohe reported yesterday via Twitter. He said that Iceberg, the mascot for the Penguins, he now blows a large horn every time the crowd boos the team or every time they start chanting for Ron Hextall's head again. This is obviously a nice cover-up ploy to not make the team look as bad. They don't want, on TVs. But what do you guys think about that? I don't care for that.
I don't either. This new management group, man, they're not off to the best start.
If that's their case, to cover it up,
Right.
But now
we might
everyone
be screwed.
Yeah. Now everyone knows every time they hear the horns, like, oh, Hextall sucks.
Yeah. I was
like,
not aware. I
yeah.
did watch the home game the other day. It didn't cross my mind. Like
Yeah.
I said, we were down 4-1 pretty early, so I left the room for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And like the
apparently
players, they they don't like being booed, but they like to know they're being booed.
right.
Because they like this team, they care about how the fans feel because
You
they
don't want
feed off that energy. And if they're being booed, they're embarrassed and they use that embarrassment to like tell each
I don't want
other,
to be
like,
told I'm
look, we
doing
need to turn our
well.
stuff
If
around
I'm
here.
doing bad, if I'm doing poorly, please
Yeah.
by all means
Yeah,
let
the
me
players
know.
want to know. That's wild. You can tell like Lemieux and Burke are no longer in charge.
Yes, absolutely.
F you, Mario. No, I'm joking. I'll never say those words.
I don't know, Mike. It hasn't been announced as of us getting on the air about 40 minutes ago, but the goalie should be announced shortly. Do you see that anywhere, Mike?
I haven't seen.
I'm going to guess.
Yet.
Who do you think's going to start tonight?
I think it's going to be Jari.
Jari?
You have to throw him back out there.
Okay.
There's no point into not putting him back out there.
You're right. It was a bad start. Somebody came and bailed you out. We got the win. Let's move on, right?
Yeah, he's your number one. You got to throw him back out.
Right.
There. That's like when you bench a quarterback who's having a bad day and the backup ends up doing pretty good. Well,
right.
Like, no, you're going back.
You got a starter,
guy.
Right?
You're going. Shit happens, man. I mean, Patrick Waugh. We've seen Waugh pulled. We've seen Brodeur pulled. It happens. You got to go back out there, man.
I'm going to just get a couple predictions for this game. Derpy, Penguins, Islanders. What you think? Give me who you think's going to win. Give me a score.
Oh,
I think it's going to be similar to the last game.
Like an overtime kind of game?
Yep.
Okay.
With the Blue Jackets, yep.
And you think that the Penguins are going to beat the Islanders?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go Penguins. I'm going to go Penguins. I'm going to go 4-3. But it's going to be one of those games to where the Pittsburgh Penguins have to come back, but it's not going to go overtime. I think they would in the third.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to go a different direction. I don't know why, but I have a feeling. It's a gut feeling. It's a vibe. I say Islanders 5, Penguins 3. I don't want this to happen, but I said, while we were guessing and going through these, that is just kind of what came to me. So I'm going to say the Islanders win this game, which I don't want them to. Don't put my head on a platter. I'll start blowing horns. But but I am going to go Islanders 5, Penguins 3.
I can
just
see
a vibe, just a feel.
I can see.
Let me just cover this baseball real quick, and then we can get into football, which we all love. Yesterday, the Pirates lose. They lose to the Orioles 7-4. They lose to the Orioles 7-4. And today they play the Tigers at 105. So if you have the urge while you're watching your ACC tournament to check out the Pirates, which I know everybody will be, they do play the Tigers at 105. Everybody, let's hike it over, Mike, to football. Derpy, you awake? You done eating? You ready for some football talk?
Here we go.
All right, now Derpy gets a hold of me, and he has some scoop. What were you telling me about this linebacker from Miami, Derpy?
Well, this is just a thing I heard from a podcast.
Okay.
Everyone,
this is from the Arthur Moats podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a guest on last night or yesterday on his, because he splits up videos, but the segment was a target basically that the Steelers could get.
Okay.
Even though they just extended him.
Miami.
Baker, Jerome Baker.
He's beastie. Look at his numbers. I think he's been wanting the league about 5 years, give or take. He's got mad tackles. I think he has a couple interceptions, few interceptions. If anybody has the numbers, it'd be appreciated. I don't have them in front of me.
I just pulled it up. Let's see. Hold on. Career stats. I'm having trouble here. He has 24 sacks on his career, 8 interceptions.
And is he an inside?
Yes. I believe he is.
I mean, them are pretty good numbers from an inside, considering that we had zero
Yeah.
production from our insides last year. Zero, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. I mean, the inside linebackers were nil.
Yeah, PFF, I have them up here. His grade last year, my God, he graded out at like a 78 overall. For what it's worth, I take their stuff with a grain of salt. But,
Right.
Pretty good run defense, pretty good pass coverage, upper end on pass rush out of the middle linebacker position. So, be nice to get him, but what are you gonna have to give up to get him?
Well, just hold that thought, because also other names are popping up, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards, ESPN was pushing this story. TJ Edwards from Philadelphia, they say on ESPN, would be a perfect fit for what the Steelers are looking for. What do you think about TJ? And I think we spoke about him before. What do you think about TJ?
He's one of the guys I spoke about before. My God, he had tremendous numbers last year. Over, what was it, almost, I'm bringing up his stats right now because I want to get it right. 125 tackles last year.
Ooh,
125 solo tackles.
Solo on a defense like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Granted, that's out of a 4-3 defense. You're going to get a lot of tackles, but my God. Yeah, he's one of the guys that we've talked about before, and one that I was looking at as, because he's coming up in free agency. Him, Kazir White, that team has a lot of free agents. You can't sign them all, and like on different people's rankings of top 100 free agents. TJ Edwards is always on that list.
Another,
my God, you get him, and you have Miles Jack. I would like it, but what kind of contract is he going to demand?
Well,
that's the thing. That's what sucks about free agency right now is like, what are these guys going to demand? But like Omar Khan said, he chuckled at people saying about the Steelers salary cap situation. He's like, yeah, there's always room to make it work.
Right.
And he knows because he is
I like this guy. I like him. I like his attitude.
He is the salary cap guru of the NFL. Like when Kevin Colbert was the GM, this guy, Omar Khan, was in charge of just the salary cap. Teams would try to take him away from the Steelers because of what he did with the salary cap. So he knows what he's talking about. If he wants this guy, he will find a way.
Also, we need. Don't just commit to these guys yet, because also, Mike, it's out that it's looking like the Buffalo Bills and Tremaine Edwards are going to be splitting ways. Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's also options on the table, options for Omar to go through and look and see what
Kendricks was just
Eric Kendricks. Yes.
Levante David, but I think he might be going back to Tampa Bay. He is on the older side. He is 33 years old.
Derpy.
Yes.
If we go for an inside linebacker via free agency, and all these names, and please, if you have another one that you like, who do you feel most? Who would you like to see play the inside, man? Out of just like I said, out of these guys, and then if there's anybody that you're thinking, who would you like to see at that inside position?
I would like Edmonds, but he's gonna cost too much. I think like way too much that the Steelers don't have.
It seemed like any of these names would be an upgrade from Devin Bush, right?
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit of an upgrade from Devin.
I do think we should bring back Dupree though.
Yeah, like he would be nice insurance policy on the outside. You get him on the cheap. I think like any edge rusher they're gonna get, they're not gonna pay big money for it. They got to come in for maybe $2-3 million a year. They're not gonna get anything outrageous. But I think Bud would be able to come back for that amount.
Did you see that the coach, the defensive outside linebackers coach that got hired by the Ravens, he was just working with Cam Hayward and Alex Highsmith just as recent as this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens just picked him up. That's not sitting well with some Pittsburgh fans. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head.
But these coaches work with, like, coaches and players, my God, in the offseason. You see it all the time.
Right.
They all work out together, people from different teams, just because, they have similar agents or they've had relationships in the past.
But the word guru is what because that's what the word they use to describe him. He's an outside linebacker guru, apparently. And People, like, hey, but you're right. You're right.
But
It is
you
the
know, like,
off season, and
my God, but you think about it. So if the guru was working with TJ Watt and Cam Hayward, that's a good thing.
yeah,
Who cares if he signed with Baltimore? Okay, then these two guys who are already all pro players can take that knowledge that he has and pass it on to the players that we have.
now we're talking about the shitbirds. I got another one for you. Strong, heavy talks. Apparently, yesterday was announced that the Baltimore Ravens, Mike, are in strong, heavy talks with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, he's where's he at? Cardinals, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're shopping him.
But he's out of he's washed.
Yeah. He's out of his prime now. On the team that
I wish we could have him just because he's a vet and he's
Right.
still all right. But he's injured.
Who's going to throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins is the
yeah, because if you get him, Lamar has until week 10.
Yeah.
He has until week 10. Like other teams can still sign him up through week 10 in the NFL, and then he can go. So who's going to be their quarterback? And why are you? I don't get it. That if I was a team in the AFC North, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm talking to Arizona to trying to get DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Reunite him and Deshaun Watson. Because when those two were
Yeah,
together,
they did
that
such a great job in
That was
Houston.
magical. Those two, they were one of the better connections in the league.
I know, but that's yeah.
Like Baltimore, it's fun watching them kind of dismantle themselves.
I love it.
Themselves alive. I hate it. Like I respected them, but I also hated them when Ozzie Newsome was there.
Yeah.
Because my God, that dude, you want to talk about one of the greatest GMs of all time.
Right.
So I'm glad he's no longer there making
their fans are up there with Eagles fans.
Yeah. To a degree.
To a degree. Yeah. They're not throwing batteries and booing.
Yeah,
Santa
you're right.
Claus.
But they're up. They're at least up there though. To a degree, like you said.
They did give Ben a standing O in his last game at Baltimore, so I'll give him that.
That surprised me a lot.
It did, but it didn't at the same time.
They're usually scumbags and
game recognizes game.
Yeah. I think that the AFC North is kind of falling apart at the seams, guys. I think, with Cincinnati, with these issues with Mixon, I mean, they're having some issues trying to get their offensive line to sign. Chubb is Chubb not going to be a Brown this year?
I would like that very much.
Oh, I would like that. Because was it Chubb's or was it the other one who was wanting to leave?
I thought it was.
Smart, he should.
I was thinking that it was. What's the guy's name?
Oh my God! No, the running back.
Hunt. Kareem
Hunt. Kareem Hunt was the one who wanted gone.
But the article I was just looking at said, what are the Browns going to do if they lose Chubb? I didn't know this was a thing. If they lose Chubb up there.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yep.
The Bengals, they're kind of having a hard time signing their players. You got one guy getting some trouble. You got Baltimore falling apart at the seams. I'm not saying that this is opening the gate for the Steelers to run the table, but you know what? This is opening the gate for the Steelers to have a little bit better of a chance, I think, this year. These teams are kind of taking hits opposed to getting a little bit better.
Well, then Kareem Hunt's a free agent. Like Buffalo, Miami, I'm seeing could be a.
I could see the Eagles talking enough to do that. Make a trade with the Browns.
Right.
The thing is, I mean,
either one of these guys,
I would have a good running back group anyway.
Yeah.
I just like.
I know, but they're not even supposed to be at 10, fellas.
Right.
I could see them giving up that 10 to, and some extra stuff to get Chubb.
Chubb would be nice. Yeah, you would have him and then Miles Sanders. But what are you going to do with like Miles Sanders is still one of the. He's an underrated starter in the league. My God, you look at his stats and he's up there with some of these guys. It's if I'm the Eagles, though, I don't know. I hold on to that number 10 and I bolster my lineup because you have all these free agents that are leaving that could potentially be gone. It's going to be interesting to see what they do though. But if they do get Nick Chubb, look out! My God,
no win the Super Bowl.
Another name, guys, that ESPN is directing in our way, and Mike had brought this name up. The lineman from Kansas City, Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown Jr.
Can you imagine this cat being on our line? Can you imagine Orlando Brown being a offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year?
My God, if they get him, they plug him.
If they get him, they freaking.
He plugs in at left tackle. And then now the first round, you're open.
The guy's 6'8".
Yeah. Now you're open for literally the best player at 17. You don't have to draft a lineman, although it would be nice to get another tackle at 17, get the best guard at 32.
Wow.
But you don't have now you can pick and choose at 17.
Now all of a sudden you got one of the strongest lines in the league.
Gather more picks. You don't have to scramble because there's still going to be good corners, good tackles later down in the first round, early second round. If they can get him, that would be huge. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. I would love to see it happen.
But the guru.
I would love to see it happen. My God.
That
line would take a huge improvement. Because then you have Dan Moore. He can switch out to right tackle, back up Chooks, where I think he's better at right tackle. He can't handle the pass rushers unless, he's going up against Von Miller or Myles Garrett every week.
Right.
Dan Moore can't pass block. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He would be better at right, where he doesn't have to worry about those big pass rushers. And he'd be nice swing tackle. He can bounce back and forth wherever you need him. God, and you get a better guard to replace Kevin Dotson, who's not a bad starter, but he's not going to get you to that next level of an offensive line. He'd be another guy who is a good swing guard, nice backup. Then you have a good line.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
Boy, that's a game changer or something.
It would be a game changer. My God, any team would want Orlando Brown Jr. He's going to back up the Brinks truck. That's what he's going to say. Right. He's going to give me the most money, best chance to win. I'm going to that team.
I'm going to give you a name, guys. We are getting short on time. I'm going to give you a name. I'm going to give you 3 teams. You tell me which one of these 3 teams you would most likely see this guy playing on. Jimmy G. Panthers, the Raiders, or the Texans? Where do you most likely see of those 3 teams would be the best fit for Jimmy G?
One more again. One more time.
Panthers, Raiders, and Texans, or elsewhere. If Raiders. You have a selection D, throw it in there as well. But these are the 3 that's being talked about. With
Raiders. I agree with Derby.
Raiders are my selection. Would probably be the Colts.
Okay.
Ooh, Colts is a good one. But they look out for the Colts. They might be sneaky in the draft to try and move up to number 1.
Yeah. Mike, the Steelers. Derby, the Steelers were the most fined team in 2022. 2022, I think a lot of it came down to the gun, the shooting, the air.
Yeah. Also, I know why, because of storylines.
And also the situation with Marcus Allen in the huddle, and I think he ended up getting fined a little bit for that. And so there was a bunch of different situations, but they were the most fined team in the NFL last year. I would have thought.
Playing hard. They're just playing hard with emotion.
Yes, that's right.
They're a fiery bunch. Shit happens.
Yeah. No, like I said, there was nothing really that stands out to me that was terrible.
There was nothing egregious to where oh my God, how could you do that? Except for maybe the Marcus Allen's one.
Right. Mike, 2-minute warning. Why don't you go tell everybody about the website?
2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Log on there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor. Click on any of those. You can find the 2 Dum Yinzers. We have links to Facebook's, Twitter, Instagram's, merchandise store, email, all at 2dumyinzers.com.
Check it out, everybody. www.2dumyinzers.com. We are live right here every day through the week, Monday through Friday, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show that we do this on this particular day gets uploaded this evening at 8 o'clock over on Spotify. 8 o'clock. If you just are able to listen to the show in podcast form and not watch it, 8 o'clock this evening, this show will be over there. You guys, we got time for one quick trivia?
Always.
Derp, you in on this?
Yes.
All right, you guys done eating? Let's go. All right. All right. So today's going to be.
I've seen you eat.
Today is going to be Pittsburgh Maulers trivia. The USFL team, the Pittsburgh Maulers trivia. So it's equally tough for everybody. All right.
All right. Let's do this, boys.
Pittsburgh Maulers trivia. How many combined wins do the Pittsburgh Maulers have from last season and their run in the early 80s? I'm looking for a combined amount of wins. What is the Pittsburgh Maulers all-time win count is what I'm looking for. And go.
How many seasons did they play in the original?
They played
US?
two seasons back in 84, like in 84. And then this recent season, just last year. I'm looking for the amount of wins.
10
wins altogether through those 3 seasons. Derpy, what about you?
How many can you tell me how many seasons were? How many games were played that season?
10. No? 10 games.
10, okay.
Yeah, it looks like it was 10 back then as well. Maybe 9.
Okay.
But this last season was a 10 season game for the Maulers. Or 10 game season, sorry. Mike says 10 wins combined.
18.
18 wins in 3 seasons is what Derpy's saying. Mike says 10 wins is what the Pittsburgh Maulers had after 3 total seasons of existence. The answer to this, guys, how many combined wins do the Pittsburgh Maulers have from last season in their early run in the 80s? The answer is 4.
Oh, wow.
4 wins. 1 win last year, 2 wins one season in the 80s, and 1 win in the other. A total of 4 wins combined. The Pittsburgh Maulers have not won more than 4 games.
I was close.
You guys were really close.
I was really close.
But no. Good job, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mike, do you have anything before we take off for the day?
Oh, actually, I do.
Okay.
Thanks you everyone watching, liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff. I just noticed cycling is back. Spring classics are getting ready to start off. Trino Adriatico is going on right now. It's the tune-up race for the Milan San Remo. Spring classics are going to start pretty soon. We're going to have Paris-Roubaix. I cannot wait.
There you go. Cycling, everybody. What about you, Dirt?
Always love yourself, and nobody wants to be a Browns fan.
That's right. And do the one that you did yesterday. Do the one you did yesterday. I like that too.
Which one? The other one?
Yeah, I remember the one that whatever you did at the end of the day. I forget what it was, but it had us all. It was one big punchline. What was it?
It was about the Browns, right?
I think so.
You're asking the wrong guy, Derpy. I can't remember what I said 5 minutes ago.
I don't recall what it was, but
alcohol, that might be the early onset dementia.
We'll think on it, guys. Maybe we could bring it back. We'll resurrect it tomorrow.
I'll resurrect it.
We'll resurrect it tomorrow.
Go back and watch this.
Right. But everybody, hey, big game coming up here shortly. It's 12:15 right now. 2:30, everybody. Pitt versus Duke. Check it out. Number 5 Pitt versus number 4 Duke. Big game. The winner goes on to play the winner of Miami and Wake Forest. Big game tonight. The Penguins play at home against the Islanders. It is superhero night. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Yes. As always, we ask that you please continue to do so. We appreciate each and every one of you. From Derpy, Mike, Ryan, the 2 Dum Yinzers.